Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I just need to warm my hands up. I'm absolutely freezing after battling through that snow of the M62. What am I going to cover today? I'm going to talk about the Regional Organised Crime Unit model, what we are seeing in terms of cybercrime in the UK and in the Northwest, and loads of really simple things that you can do to protect yourself. So starting off with the Northwest Regional Organised Crime Unit, we're a collaboration, if I can say that word correctly, of 6 police forces who work in the region to tackle serious organised crime, ranging from human trafficking to child sexual exploitation and cybercrime. There's a ROCU model across the whole of the UK, so this is not unique to the Northwest. Police forces all across the UK work together on a regional basis, and they all have a cybercrime unit. So what I'm going to cover in this presentation this morning is what we call the 4 Ps, what we're seeing in the Northwest, and free resources that you can take away with you. So starting off with the 4 Ps, protect. This is my role. This is protecting communities from the basic latest cybercrime threats. Prevent, which is working to protect young people from moving into cybercrime. Pursue, which is chasing after offenders and bringing them to justice. And prepare, which is preparing businesses to deal with cyber incidents effectively. And I'll talk through each of those in turn. So starting with pursue. Operation Bleak, you might have read about this recently in the regional and the national newspapers. This was a targeted UK-based operation targeting individuals who are using a remote access tool called Imminent Monitor. Now, Imminent Monitor contains features which don't necessarily appear in normal RATs. And evidence of its use could be found on both the victims' and the offenders' computers. It was widely used right the way across Europe and in North America, and it was downloaded approximately 15,000 times. So the Protect officers, or the Pursue officers that I work with created intelligence packages, and a national operation took place. In November last year, there were 26 warrants executed right across the UK in a week of action, and 9 individuals were arrested, £15,000 in cash seized. Some of the police officers working on the equipment there, so you'll see some of my colleagues. The most notable recent sentencing was a chap called Scott Cowley. You might have read about him in the Northwest newspapers. He was from St Helens. He was one of the people arrested. He's now serving a 2-year jail sentence after we seized his laptop, and we found evidence of him using the remote access tool to spy on women undressing. Prevent. Prevent is where we work to raise awareness in schools and colleges and youth groups about the Computer Misuse Act. The average age of a cybercriminal is 17, and Prevent is about working with young people to steer them away from cybercrime into careers in IT. This is Greg Sales. He was 16 at the time of the offence took place. He made a series of bomb hoax calls against American schools and airports. It resulted in flights being grounded, colleges and universities being evacuated, and he threatened to kill the family of an FBI agent during a series of phone calls. He got into swatting from playing Call of Duty, and he's now working with us to help to educate others about the dangers of getting into cybercrime. He's filmed a video about the impact that it's had on him. He's from the Wirral. He's a Northwest lad. The Prevent officers that I work with are currently involved in a national project called the Matrix Challenge. This is an innovative cybersecurity competition for young people right across the UK, run in partnership with all the regional organised crime units. It's open to anyone aged 11 to 17, and it delivers cybersecurity skills and tests knowledge in creative and fun problem-solving exercises you play either online, at home, or in school. And you compete to win a place at the national final, which takes place in London in July. If you're interested in taking part, or you know anyone wants to take part, that's the website to register there. Protect. This is my world. Protect is about ensuring that the National Cybersecurity Centre guidance and threat advice reaches as many people as possible, businesses and individuals. And we achieve this through speaking at events like this, working with victims, and doing some quite interesting projects like taking a bus right across North Wales, rocking up at different town centres and city centres, and delivering workshops to businesses and town halls. Recent activities we've been involved in terms of investigations, Operation Flex, which is about ransomware and RDP ports. So Operation Flex is about compromised RDP ports. We were given packages of intelligence suggesting that local schools, colleges, and other vulnerable organisations had RDP ports which were left wide open. We don't know whether they've been compromised by ransomware, but a similar operation we were involved in last year. About 80% of those organisations have been previously victims of ransomware attacks via RDP ports. We're also looking at an operation involving compromised websites where clothing companies and other online retailers have had their websites compromised and code put into the websites to direct payments out to criminals in overseas countries. So we do work quite closely with victims to educate them about what's gone wrong with their particular site or their particular online service and try and help them to protect themselves in the future. Prepare is about helping organisations to plan for when they are a victim of an attack. So we work with local resilience forums. Local resilience forums are collaborations of your blue light services, your local authorities, transport and utility companies. And we work with the resilience forums to help make sure that they've got cybersecurity plans in place for when they become a victim of a cybersecurity attack. And we run exercises with them to look at scenarios and how they would respond. Some examples there of the exercise in the box if you've not seen it from the National Cybersecurity Centre. So what's happening in the Northwest? We receive, on average, 20 reports a week of cyber-dependent crimes. 30% of those are towards vulnerable victims, so domestic abuse, the elderly, or people with mental health issues. And the majority of those come from the Greater Manchester police area. 80 to 90% of cyber-dependent crimes concern individuals. We want to see more businesses coming forward and making reports. At the moment, it's individuals reporting, not businesses. And the most prevalent type of cyber-dependent crime in the Northwest is social media hacking. That costs victims in the Northwest a combined £1.6 million. And for businesses, ransomware is still the biggest issue. Free resources, this is the great stuff. You're probably all aware the National Cybersecurity Centre have a mountain of resources on their website. That includes a whole range of infographics, things from how to create a strong password, the Small Business Guide, Response and Recovery Guide. There's a whole wealth of materials, blogs, videos, all there for you to take. Active Cyber Defence Programme, this is available free to anyone in the public sector. It consists of a range of tools to protect your public sector network. If you want to find out more about that, there's a whole page on the NCSC website. Staff training, if you want to look at training your staff, you don't necessarily need to buy an expensive online training packages. The NCSC have got free online, an online staff training module which you can put into your e-learning packages within your organisation or your staff intranet. And the board toolkit, this is a great glossy guide to help the board and the IT departments meet and have some commonality in discussing cybersecurity issues. It helps the IT teams to try and get the boards to understand their responsibilities and where they need to invest in cybersecurity. Cyber Information Sharing Platform. This is a great platform for anyone who works in IT security and manages a network on behalf of an organisation. We describe it as a little bit like Facebook for people who work in IT. Once you're on the platform, you can learn in live time about the latest threats that are happening to businesses right across the UK. You can share things anonymously. Everything on it is traffic light protocol coded so that you can't take some things off the platform. Free to join, but a great resource. So what does the future look like in terms of how the police deal with cybercrime? The government are taking the threat of cybercrime seriously and have invested in all UK police forces. That now means that every single local police force has a team which has the capability to work across each of the 4 Ps which I've previously mentioned. That means more investigations can be carried out, more young people can be prevented from becoming cyber criminals in the future, and more businesses and individuals can be protected. There's also a national project underway to create a network of cyber resilience centres in every region of the UK. These are not-for-profit centres that will provide SMEs, not subject matter experts, small media enterprises with access to resources at every region of the UK, free or low cost, and they'll work with local university students to deliver those resources. There are 3 centres already in operation in the UK, one in Greater Manchester, the Greater Manchester Cyber Resilience Centre. The Metropolitan Police are piloting a project called Cyber Choices. This will see them working with local authorities, safeguarding panels, to provide wraparound care for young people involved in cybercrime. That means as well as providing diversionary activities to steer them into cybersecurity careers, the needs of the child as a whole will also be supported. And we're also looking at improving the connectivity between the private sector and law enforcement so that intelligence about cybercrime can be shared quickly and easily. I'd like to thank you all for your attention this morning. Thank you.